Hello everybody, Jason up New Year's Revolution in the cave, and I wanted to give you an update about the weekend. I'll hit you with that news after. First up, an update on Bad News Brown. We're moving along. Now, you're looking at this going, that's the sloppiest painting I've ever seen. That's horrible. So the trick that my friends over at XOX Customs told me is, go ahead and get a little paint there on the arm. When it dries, you take a toothpick and you scrape that line, and it comes off so easy, and you have a crisp line. So instead of I'm not the best. I'm not even close to a painter. I've never painted anything in my life. So, my patience for this is minimal. So I'm not perfect initially, but I take a toothpick and I'm going to be able to scrape all of that off and get a nice edge. Same with the trunks. You got some paint on his butt there, on his thigh. That comes all off with a toothpick when this is done. That's his face up to this point. I'm happy with the beard color. It's a lighter. I put on almost like a really thinned out black. Same black that I used for the trunks, but just thinned out. And I like the color of the beard. I like it. It's kind of like a charcoal. And then we've got the jet black. But again, don't worry. All of this mess will be gone with a toothpick. I'm not a drawer of any kind. I'm not an artist, but that's the glove that I gave him. That's the best I can do on the glove. Again, that edge will be cleaned up and very straight. So trust me, I almost didn't want to show them to you like this. I still got to do the boots. Somebody said he's got white on the bottom here of the boots, so I might try to add a really thin white along the bottom here. Some pictures that I've seen of him, he's got a little bit of white sticking out of the black armbands or wristbands. It's almost like he's got two wristbands on. A white one and a black one. So I might try to add a really thin line, just kind of fade it a little bit. It's like a dirty white. It's almost like a dirty wristband in some of the pictures that I've seen. But again, those lines will be extremely cleaned up and looking a lot better when I'm done. Like I said, I almost didn't want to show them to you like this, because you're like, oh my God, that's sloppy. But trust me, with Mr. Perfect, all along these edges, it was all on his skin. I was definitely not in the lines. But you take a toothpick after it dries, and it flakes right off. And then you've got a really crisp line. So I'll do the same thing with Bad News. So once again, go check out Net. She has a huge announcement coming. I already know what it is, of course, because I'm in the inner circle. But there's another release coming, and we're going to be very happy. Very happy. That's all I'm saying. There is more coming. I don't know if these figures would have been coming had we not gone crazy on XOX Customs and XOX Random Treasures on Etsy. I don't know if they were planning these. I don't know. But they're coming. And hopefully she gives me the green light to announce and promote, which I will do. Now, the real bad news. I am not going to Steel City Con. If I wanted to edit this, I would insert all the groans and boos and catcalls, and I'm not going. I had until 4 o'clock today to cancel the hotel. I canceled it at 8:30 this morning, and I'm not happy at all. But I will tell you what. I am the least political guy you will ever meet. All right, no president in the world has ever directly impacted what has happened in my home or my life or my career or anything like that. And I just noticed that my McDonald's pumpkin fell off the shelf. My McDonald's Halloween pumpkin. How did that happen? Paranormal? I don't care about politics. I don't take a stand on anything. I'm not a protester. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I don't do that. You'll never get into a conversation with me about their agenda, the government's agenda. I don't do that. I absolutely do not waste my time with that because it hurts people's brains and you get nothing accomplished. You get nothing accomplished, by being outspoken to the point where it's driving you insane. All right? I like to stay sane. So the decision not to go to Steel City Con was based on my personal anxiety, my personal feelings about the uptick in COVID cases. Did the news, influence my decision? I mean, not entirely. Hearing that kids are getting sick, and will most of the children have flu-like symptoms? Yes. Did my children have flu-like symptoms with COVID? Yes. It lasted 2 days for them. But I don't know. When something is on my mind and it stays with me on my mind, if I keep revisiting it, to me it means I have to answer the call, right? Lots of stuff flows in and out of my brain regularly. Go buy this, go get this, go get this, go do this. And if I'm not thinking about it the next day, it was a passing thought, right? That's kind of my way of doing things. I shouldn't go get something unless I'm thinking about it tomorrow. So I started contemplating the trip Monday. And I figured it would just pass by Tuesday, and it didn't. And I figured it would pass by Wednesday, and it didn't. And last night I, was staring at the ceiling while I was trying to go to sleep. And I woke up this morning way earlier than I should have and was staring at the ceiling. And to me, when that happens consistently in my brain for 4 straight days, it means I should probably address what I'm thinking about. And, the regret that I will have for not going is way less than the regret that I would have for going, for getting sick, and for bringing it back and exposing my kids to it. It's just not the smartest thing to do for me. All of you guys who are going, I'm jealous of you, that you squashed the anxiety, that you didn't worry about it, that you went, and hopefully you had a good time, and hopefully you didn't get sick. But for me, I couldn't shed the anxiety, right? I couldn't shed it. And I knew that if I went, I would not have as good of a time that I wanted to. That's the only reason that I would go to these things, is when I can sit relaxed and have a nice time by myself and unwind and be carefree. And I couldn't do that. This weekend. The hotel bar at the Hilton in Monroeville is closed. I called them. There is no more hotel bar at the Hilton because they let that staff go. So they haven't brought them back. There's like one person who runs the bar, and maybe it's like for special parties and stuff. But so that wasn't going to happen. So if I wanted to hang, part of me going away for 2 days is to not sit in a hotel room staring at walls. So I would go and I would sit at the hotel bar and I would have a nice time. I'd watch some sports, I'd talk to the bartender, I'd eat, I'd drink, I'd have a good time. Well, if I wanted to do that now, I would have to leave the hotel, go find some ridiculous Applebee's, and sit at the bar there and eat. But then it's packed, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to go sit in a packed restaurant right now. Plus, Applebee's sucks. So I wouldn't have been able to do that. I would have ended up going to A Plus or 7-Eleven and getting a 12-pack of beer and a pizza and sitting around my hotel room, bored out of my mind, and probably depressed. That would have been Friday. Then I would have went to the con, and I would not have been relaxed enough to scroll through the gigantic convention center, bumping into people, excuse me, and looking at all the goodies that the vendors have. I wouldn't have been able to do it completely relaxed. I wouldn't have. And so I wouldn't have had a good time. I am super bummed about the photo op that has gone bye-bye now. No Freddy vs. Jason photo op. And I'll tell you what, I'm not going to any cons until this thing is done and over with. Or I'm just not. Unless they do a vaccine mandate to get in, unless they do a mask mandate to get in. And that's not saying anything against you folks who are anti-vax and anti-mask. Do your thing. I love you. Hang out with me on the channel. Don't go anywhere. It's just my personal preference, as non-vax and non-mask is your personal preference, right? I'm not going to stand outside and protest your house because of your decisions, you know. So, RetroCon with my man Upstate Johnny, we're going to have to talk about that. We will talk about that and figure out what we're going to do. But, so I'm not looking ahead at like Monster Mania in October. Robert Englund's going to be at Monster Mania. I'm not even considering it. I'm not going to follow them on Facebook. I'm not going to see the guest lists because I get pumped and excited, and then I realize, you know what? It's not right time for me. It's not the right time for me. Honestly, secretly, I was checking the website every day hoping that Robert Englund canceled because there have been several cancellations. I was hoping that he would have canceled and then I would have pulled out. So the folks that were going to hang out with me in Pennsylvania, again, I'm sorry. But I probably wouldn't have hung out with you. I probably would have, you wouldn't have even noticed me. I would have been double masked. I think I was going to wear a gaiter too and a hat, and I was just going to keep my head down, and I wasn't even going to stay long at the convention, which is just a waste. And it's 4.5 hours away, and the weekend was going to cost me about $1,000. With the hotel, with the food and drink, with the massively expensive photo op tickets, and the Christmas shopping that I would have done, the stuff for me, it would have been $1,000 easily. So that's that. I'm not going. And I don't know. It's depressing. This just needs to go away. This garbage needs to go away. And I'm not going to make any major statements about what we can do to help it go away. I don't do that. So I'm not going. No Steel City vlog. I am crushed. Trust me, I'm probably in the worst mood that I've been in a long time. Of course, you can't tell that because I'm such an actor. But I'm mad and angry and crushed and disappointed, and I'm probably going to pout all weekend. Yeah, I'm going to be a big baby all weekend, and yeah. So that's that. Bad News Brown coming along just fine. Not going to Steel City. So we'll have probably 2 episodes of the Power Hour. There's a whole bunch of questions to get through, and probably another WWF June '84 review show. That's that. Sorry to disappoint. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to take my Bad News Brown upstairs and start scraping him with a toothpick. That sounds yummy. Good night now.